Good morning. 3:45 a.m. We're heading off to the start. Buses in about 15-20 minutes. Carb load continues. I already had one of these, 41 grams, and I'll have about probably 60-70 grams of carbs from here. And then I will begin to sip on this all the way through to the start, because I've just been doing this before every marathon and just gets me in marathon mode. So do that, and yeah, we'll keep filming as the day goes on. But as I said yesterday, I don't think there's going to be much footage, or if any footage, from the race. So might be a pre-race and then just post-race chat, but we'll see how we go. At least I can show you a bit of the bus ride up, the start, elite athlete room, all that fun stuff as we keep carbon up. But hopefully a good day for Reem and I. But the race kicks off in just over 3 hours. This is Reem's throwaway top. You got it last
Very
night
festive.
at Ross.
So comfy.
How much did you pay for that?
I think I paid $12.
$12. Nice.
It's so
it's super warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. You're going to cheat today.
This isn't cheating.
So to be clear, actually, that's not cheating because Reem is not a professional, but that is the Primex.
I'm bringing my Kenya with me. Kenya strength.
Yeah. All right, we gotta get going.
Let's go.
Yeah.
In the right.
So Reem has a hot tip that has worked for her about how to deal with the stomach issues. What do you do?
The magic. I Imodium an hour before I start. I don't think. Yeah, there you go. An Imodium before you start. I take 2 in exactly an hour. An hour and 15.
2, and this is how many milligrams?
2 milligrams.
I can't see. But anyways, it's the regular dose one. 2 milligrams. Yeah, you're right. And for people that are racing CIM in the future and wondering this, because we were wondering, you have to. It's a one-way race, obviously. So you have to drive to the middle of the city, which is a pretty small city, and get a bus to the start. About a 26.2 mile ride, slightly more probably. We wondered how hard it would be to get parking next to the bus. But we drove in with an extra 20 minutes to spare, and we got to park immediately. And there's loads of parks here, so it's very easy to park your car right next to the bus. This park is $6 for the day, I think, and there's street parking for $2 an hour, although it might even be free on Sunday. We just got this because we know for sure it's all day, and yeah, so it's super simple to do this. We've got so much time now. We arrived here at 4:12, and we've got in fact we've got half an hour. So. Do not worry about parking next to the buses at CIM. So while I overlay some of the footage I took from the drive in the bus up to the start line, which takes about 45 minutes, I think. The bus I took was the elite athlete bus, but the buses for the non-elite athletes depart from basically the same area, just down the road. Pretty straightforward drive, nothing too special about this, but I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Soar Running for sponsoring this video, every single video I've ever done about my own journey in the marathon. I have worn Soar for training every single day and also in every single race for the last, I think, about 2.5 years. And yeah, it's my favorite kit, no doubt, at the moment. So thank you to Soar. I wore this kit on the screen here that I played in the last video in this race. Also the same kit that I wore at Indianapolis when I ran 2:18 last month. And do go and check it out with the 15% off link in the top right corner now, or at the link in the description of this YouTube video. Okay, we have made the start area. There's the tent, or the elite athlete area. 6:18 a.m. We go for a 10-minute jog, bit of stretching. We had to start at about 6:45, and conditions are perfect. I guess we're going to probably start in the dark. Or it's going to be only just light, because it's 6:30 now, and yeah, it's still dark. Feeling good, ready to go. It's 6:40, so we have to put our bags in the thing now. So this is the last I can film, but Yeah, 20 minutes to the start, feeling good, and excited to run marathon number 24 or 25. Hope to finish number 19. Oh, finished marathon number 19. 2:19:43 on my watch, probably 44, 45. Yeah, harder than I thought it'd be. That course is they label it the fastest in the West. I'm not super sure. I mean, it's obviously got the net downhill, but I think I definitely need to train on more hills for that. Immediately, protein in, ketones. Where are they? In the bag. I'm gonna have a bunch of ketones because that definitely helps recovery. But yeah, pretty happy with that. 2 major fuck-ups on my half, or both my fault. I fumbled and missed picking up the bottle 25k and 30k. Tried to pick it up, fell out of my hands on the ground. Couldn't go back and get it. Too many people behind me. So that was a bit disappointing because I basically had fucking hardly any carbs in the second half. I grabbed a gel from the course at one point and a cup of Gatorade, which had like this much in the cup. But that was a major bummer. So I've got to work on that. But yeah, otherwise, I was pretty optimistic at halfway I'd be able to pick up the pace, but then at about 30k, I couldn't. Even if I got the drink bottles, I don't think I could have run any faster than my PB. Maybe similar to my PB, but yeah, it was a bit of a grind last 10k, or a major grind. Cramps, pretty minimal today, luckily. Started at about 35, but they were never too bad. Last 2k, they were a bit rough, but otherwise, yeah. My asthma. Asthma is so bad. I need to address that ASAP. I need to go to a pulmonologist this week. I've been putting that for years. It's so bad. Last night I was coughing so much. I don't know what. Well, I do know what, it's the cold, but right, I'm gonna go try and find out how Reem's going and see a couple of other guys. We are about 40 minutes removed now. The 3-hour clock is ticking over now, so a bit more time to recover. So I'll give a better reflection now. Yeah, I'm like, all things considered, that was a pretty good result because I had a lot of shit not going my way today. They are excuses. I don't want to make excuses. They are, but it's just what happened. My asthma's hindered me pretty badly today. I need to pretty urgently see a doctor about that. The issue is pulmonologists who I need to see, specialists in the lungs, often have very long wait times. And I've tried to find one in Chicago and they all have 4 to 5 weeks. So I need to sort that out. Course is fast. It's obviously fast. It's fastest course in the West, they say. The event says. You need to train a lot on hills, though, to be able to conquer it well, I think. I didn't do enough on the hills, which it's hard to do in Chicago because it's so flat. Did a few of those runs. We went up and down that one bridge. But the hills are pretty tough, actually. Like, in the last 10 miles, last 15k, it's easy. It's very easy course. But through the middle there's some hills that are pretty long and grinding. I'm going to go as far to say as both Chicago and Indy are definitely faster than that course. But if you're a great hill runner and you do a lot of training on the hills, this is potentially faster. Yeah, missing the bottles at 25k and 30k. It wasn't exactly those points, but it was close to that. That was a major error. And in future, I need to be carrying an extra gel on me as a last resort. I wasn't doing that today. And I think in the second half I picked up one gel off from the side of the course at like, I don't remember, 20 miles? Just after 30k? Yeah. And then I managed to get my last bottle at 35k and I had most of that. but it was too late at that point. I knew I was struggling. But when I got that bottle and I drank it and I had the part of the gel, I immediately felt quite a bit better. So yeah, pretty stoked with doing 3 in 3, but I'm still learning, still making mistakes. Sorry. And I'm happy I finished. The thoughts about dropping out, which happen every single race. Should I keep going? Should I not? They started at about 20 miles, and that was mostly because of the glucose was so low, I think. But yeah, all in all, look, I executed okay. Very happy that I got under 220 again, and yeah, the things I need to do now is I urgently need to get my asthma addressed, and I need to practice picking up bottles from tables, and I need to always have one spare gel with me. All right, Reem should be finishing in the next 15-20 minutes, so I'm going to go cheer her on, and yeah, I'll give if anything else comes to mind in this post-race reflection, I'll do a little bit more later on, but 3 marathons in 3 months and under 220. Pretty proud of that. Reem should be finished in a minute. Sounds like she's having a pretty bad day. She's messaging me as she's running though. That's not smart. I'll have a word to her about that. She said her knee is really sore. She didn't say anything before the race about it, but we'll see. Her predicted time's about 3:30. Looks like she's had to slow down to almost a walk, but try and get some video of her finishing off. She sent me like 4 WhatsApp messages in the last 10 minutes. Tough day.
That was rough. I give props to anyone that wants to do this course. I don't recommend it at all.
Well, I was saying before that I think this course is really fast for people that live in hilly areas.
Yeah.
We're not making excuses. It's just a fact of if you're living in Chicago or somewhere dead flat and you have no hills to do long runs up, this course can be a challenge for sure.
It wasn't like sharp uphills.
No.
The rises.
Yeah. So how did it go down? 1 minute summary. Where do you start?
Yeah.
Were you feeling good at halfway?
No. It started to the legs started to stiffen, and I'm like, we're going to ignore that.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep going.
What was your halfway split?
I think it was 132. I'm not actually sure.
304 pace?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
No, it's definitely past. I have no idea. But I just remember feeling like, okay, I feel a little bit better than I did in Chicago. But I was like, man, my energy is just zapped. And then I was like, mile 15, I was like, this is going to be so hard to finish. But then the 3:15 pacer came by, and I was like, just hang on that. And then that's when the pain started. And I was like, oh, God, no. And then when the pain felt like I can stabilize it, the coughing kicked in. And that crippled me. I had to stop, and then I was just doing this game of like, walk 30 seconds, run for a few minutes, run 30 seconds. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I'll never do this again.
Hey Turbo, how you doing, buddy? He's pissed that we left him for 3 days. He is absolutely pissed. Look at him. He's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. You left me for 3 days. We've made it home. We're 2 days post-race. You know, I've always thought to myself, you should never make too many decisions or even really think about it too much until about 48 hours after the race, because I don't know, just lets you have enough time to. Hey Reem, we're gonna do a little recap in a minute. I'm already filming. Zero preparation for these scenes. Yeah, I think it's just good to let things settle, let you think about it a bit, because one of the first things you said, Reem, when you crossed the line was you don't ever want to do that race again. But since that time, you've rethought about it. So let's do a 2-3 minute overview from your point of view, based on a little bit on your own race and then a little bit just like of tips for people that want to do CIM in the future?
I definitely would do it again. I mean, the course was a lot of fun. I will say, like, the ups and downs, the turn, like, there wasn't that too many turns, but I just felt so jealous the second half seeing it go down, and I couldn't pick it up, and I couldn't stay consistent. I experienced, I think it was like just really tightness around my knee from my glutes and my quads, and it just really caused the knee pain that kicked in around well, on my metrics it shows around 20. So after mile 20, I just couldn't. It got so sharp that I was afraid that I was causing an injury. So I figured that I should just back off. I'm like, I have enough time to pick another marathon and rebuild again, and maybe even go faster and be stronger as a runner. So I really that was the decision I made due to just not wanting to cause any further damage. But it just crippled me after that, where I had to like run, walk. But I just remember thinking everyone flying by me, and I was just like, oh, this looks so sick. So if you're thinking of running CIM, I completely agree. You should take the chances of doing that. But what I would do differently in my training is a lot more easy, my easy runs on hillier courses, up and down.
Yeah, but that's hard for us because we don't have any hilly courses here. We have nothing.
Yeah.
We have one little hill 5 kilometers away that's about 270 meters up, and it's not even very steep. So we would have to get Ubers like 20 minutes that way every time you want to do. But sorry, I interrupted you.
But I would, even though it's a small hill, I would have just done more reps around that.
Yeah.
I would have gone to parking garages and just gone up and down that. And I wish I would have done that even into my Chicago build as well, because it would have benefited me for Chicago, making me just a stronger runner. And on a flat course, I just would have felt like it was easy. And then I would have done, so the last 10K of the race at CIM is flat. So you go from going up and down all consistently for 20 miles, and then it's just a flat course. So I think I would have mimicked that in my training as well. Do my long runs beginning on like up and down, and then the last few miles just flat again, just training myself to run on dead legs. I think I would have done that. And going into my next marathon, I think I'm just going to increase the mileage a lot more, maybe by 10 to 15 miles per week, and then a lot more strength training. My quads were just fried. Like I was properly dead. But then I also had this really bad cough. So otherwise, I think I was prepared.
2 days later, 48 hours later, and a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being extreme, 1 being nothing. How's your body like? 10 being as sore as it's ever been.
Yeah, I'm at 10.
You're at 10?
Yeah, my legs have never been this sore.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm probably at about a 4. I'm actually recovered pretty well. I'm almost certain, though, the ketones helped the recovery a lot. And I had 2 of them immediately after the race, about 10 minutes afterwards, and another one about an hour afterwards. But anyways... Yeah. So thanks for the recap. Yeah, I would agree with that. CIM is a fast course for sure, but you need to train on hills. We've said that 50 times now. And yeah, if you have hills available to you, I'd be doing a lot of long runs. Like not just easy runs. I think doing like long runs up and down the hills are important for CIM. And if you've got the hills to do that around you, then CIM is definitely a fast course. We had pretty perfect weather.
Yeah.
Hard to beat that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I must say, though, that I did one of the stupidest things I've probably ever done on camera on the weekend, and I'm very aware of this, and I know this. I actually had the thought in the race. I joked in the first video about the technical meeting being a waste of time because we learned to pick up bottles, which we don't actually learn to do in that. That's actually, we just learn where the tables will be and what side of the table you'll pick it up from. We don't actually learn to pick up bottles in the meeting, but I dropped 2 bottles in the race. Which were critical bottles as well. They were at 25K and 30K roughly. The drink stations were not exactly 5K markers. They were at all sorts of random points. Like, I think it was like 3.5 miles and then like 6.7 or something. But it was about 25 and 30K, give or take half a mile. So about 15 mile mark, maybe 15 and a half, and then about 19 miles. And I went to pick up both of those. My hands got quite cold in the race. I have that Raynaud's thing. I've never been diagnosed, but I know I do. So my hands get very cold. which is weird because the rest of my body overheats. So it's a really weird sensation, actually. Like, I remember thinking in the race that I was sweating quite a lot from my head, which is normal for me, even in like 42 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius. But my hands were like almost too hard to like press anything on my watch, too cold, sorry. And when I went to pick up the bottles, it was the coldness of the air when my hands being so locked up that I sort of fumbled them both. And that was pretty rough for me because I had no gels on board. Like, I wasn't holding any more gels on me. So I went without glucose for a while. I picked up 2 cups at the station, but the Gatorade cups had about, or the cups of precision that they had in there, because we pick it up at such pace, when I was picking them up, so much of it fell out of the cup that I only had about this much left. So I would have got like 5 grams of carbs at most. That's one issue with races, hey, and I know people talk about this all the time, is that the cups on course, that's great, but by the time you get it and its stuff is splashed out, you have so little of the fluid left. So that's a bummer, but that's just something that can't be solved unless the event uses bottles. So yeah, I had 2 cups, but they were both about 5 grams of carbs. And so I went probably 45 minutes roughly, probably without having anything more. And that hurt me a bit because I've learned that I really need high amounts of carbs. I think mostly because of my weight. I don't know exactly why, but if I have low carbs, I struggle for sure. If I have anything less than 80 grams of carbs an hour, I notice it, really do. So that was happened to me. Major error on my behalf, and I feel like a complete clown by making fun of it and then it actually happening to me.
Karma.
I feel like an
Jinxed
absolute
yourself.
arrogant prick, but because like I said, we don't even learn to pick up bottles in that meeting. It was just a stupid joke that just went really sour. My asthma really, really bothered me through the race, unfortunately. We got super unlucky with that because Chicago got so cold the week before, 10 days before, that my asthma flared right up in the cold and dry air here. Got to Sacramento, and I've been hearing that the pollen in Sacramento is pretty bad because I wondered why it got much worse even when I arrived for both of us in Sacramento. So that was a big bummer because I coughed probably about 30 or 40% of the way. It felt like it. Maybe that's a bit exaggerated, but it was a lot.
And as soon as you got back, you didn't cough once. As soon as we landed.
Oh,
in
I
Chicago.
coughed non-stop for the 45 minutes after the race. I couldn't even have conversations with people. It was so frustrating. John Ranieri, the pacer of the elite race who paced the winner, I've done videos with him before. He was trying to talk to me after the race and I just couldn't talk to him. I was just coughing non-stop. I don't know, I felt bad. But yeah, as soon as I got back to Chicago, where there was a random few warm days of like 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit, which it is now, or close to it, my asthma's gotten a lot better. But I am on new medications now and I'm trying all sorts of things. But of course, I also have to pay attention to the World Anti-Doping Banned list because I don't have TUEs for any of these things. So I have to be careful about what I take and what I don't because I don't want to take anything that's on that list. So I don't get tested really. In fact, I haven't been tested since the 800 meter days, but it's still possible. And of course, I don't want to cross any lines there. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. My fueling otherwise went to plan. Carb load was great. Felt pretty good in the race. It was just really, for me, asthma and lack of carbs in the second half. But I really do think, to be honest, I think it's hard for me to know what was my best performance out of these 3 races, Chicago, Indy, and CIM. Really hard, given all circumstances. Of course, Indy is the fastest time. Chicago is second and CIM's third. But I'm going to be honest, the more time has gone on, the more I think my CIM performance was maybe the best one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, even though it was the slowest. Historically, I'm not very good on hills. Like, I've never been a good cross-country runner. I've always been pretty crap at long runs on hills, and I didn't practice much on them. And I still ran 2:19 on a hilly course. I'm aware it's got some downhill, but I don't think, the uphills cross out the downhills when it comes to effort. Asthma really hurt me, and I was leading the whole way. There's a short period between about, I don't remember, it would have been maybe 10K to go to 5K to go, where I sat behind a couple of guys, but I led the pack almost the whole way. And so when I think about it, I think that might be potentially the best one out of the 3. I don't know, it's hard to say. They all went pretty well, but I definitely do not think, despite the fact that my times are getting slightly slower, or that last one was slightly slower, I do not think that I'm going backwards with fitness or with anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'll talk much more about that in my opinion this week, but that's my feeling now. I genuinely...
If it was a flat course, sorry to cut you off, that you would have achieved the 2:17, because I think you would have.
I firmly believe, and people can call this arrogant, whatever they want, I don't care. If I raced Indy again, on the weekend, I think I would have gone a PB. 2:17,
Especially 'cause the
I don't
weather
know,
was
but I
great.
think I would have run a PB.
Yeah.
So sorry, that's a stupid thing to say. If I had that weather, all these variables, it's almost silly to say this stuff, but if I had a flat course with that weather, I do think I would have run a PB. If I had a pack to run with and run behind, I'm very close to 100% sure I would have run a PB. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, because CIM is a little bit more deeper than Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So it would have been a great course, and the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
There was even my hands froze too, and there was a really cool section where the fog just kicks in and you can't see anything in front of you, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. But overall, great event. I would definitely recommend it. Just if you're going to do it, train on hills.
Yes.
And don't just do short hill reps. You need to do long runs with hills. That's pretty much everything. Yeah. Thank you so much to Soar for sponsoring this video and every video I've ever done. I race in their kit on the weekend. I love it. I love it when people reach out to me and ask me for their opinion on different pieces of Soar gear. Happens all the time. 15% off link is in the description or up the top here. Just super appreciative of Soar. And thank you to all of you that have followed along on the journey. The journey will continue. We've got so much to look forward to. We have the Arizona camp coming up at the end of January, early February that has quite a few people booked on it already. So that's exciting. And if you're interested to learn more about that, you can see the link up the top here or in the description. It's a 4-day experience that goes over a long weekend where we're going to go to Flagstaff, Sedona, do all this running education. It's going to be awesome. And then after that, we have Japan and Osaka Marathon, hopefully, if my visa clears. And before Arizona, we have Houston half. Although I have asked the organisers if I can upgrade to the full. But I don't think I can because it seems very full, the whole race, including the elite field. So most likely going to do the half there. But thanks everyone for following along. We really appreciate it. We're logging everything on Strava if you'd like to sort of dive into any of the details of the training. Reem's on there and I'm on there. But yeah.
Turbo's not going to be happy about Japan, but we're excited.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.